And I'm Rahana Power.
Yes. And today we have Haley Jacobsen. Is that
Hello.
right? Yes.
That's correct.
Haley, thank you for joining us. This is very
thank
exciting.
you. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat today.
Yeah. We have a bunch of questions that we want to ask you. Very interested in everything that you do and want to pick your brain a bunch. But first, we just want to chat, just kind of get to know you a little bit. See, like, who is Haley Jacobsen? That's what we're here for today. So, Haley, tell us something about yourself. Is a fun, interesting, like, skill or thing that maybe you do. Maybe everybody knows about it. Maybe nobody knows about it. We're the first people.
That's good. That's a good question. Now that I think about it, it's not a very good skill, podcast wise, and doesn't really come in handy, but I can shake my eyes back and forth real quick.
Whoa.
I know it. I feel like maybe a horror movie. It could come in handy.
Ooh. Okay.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you, I know that the listeners can't see, but we can. So I'm curious.
Let me get real close to the camera. You're going to have to see one eye. Is it good? Can you see one eye?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh
my gosh. It does. It just like wiggles back and forth.
Yeah, that reminds me of like something from the credits of The Walking Dead or something when I think there's an eye in there somewhere. I don't know. But
yes.
It's actually Haley.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah. It is.
It's real scary when you find out you can do it for the first time. The world shakes.
Oh, no kidding.
And then you harness the power.
Can you like feel it when you do it? Or can you just tell because of your vision?
I can tell because of the vision, but I can also kind of hear it, which I don't know if that's
interesting,
healthy. But it's where we're at.
Yeah. Wow. That is wild.
Yeah. And since this is Zoom, maybe we can get it onto the, stories on Instagram or something. If you're okay with that.
Okay, good. I would like to review the footage first.
Okay, yes. Okay, I will.
You can record it and approve the actual footage.
Perfect.
That goes live. I like
so
it.
Maybe asterisk. Mm-hmm. Okay. So Haley, what have you been into lately? Anything?
Oh, yes. I'm on a deep dive of metal detecting, treasure hunting, and magnet fishing.
Magnet fishing?
Yes. You don't know? You don't know about magnet fishing?
Never heard of it.
Are you looking for magnets?
Well, sometimes you get magnets. It's a giant magnet that you throw out into the river or into the lake, and then you reel it in. And anything that's magnetic, you pick up. So it's a little treasure hunting. It's a little, river cleanup.
Yeah.
I've gotten a knife, lots of fish hooks. I've pulled an entire folding chair out of the river.
What?
Wow.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh and I have procured a second one. So if anybody would like to join me, I would be happy to have a partner.
I love it. Like in like a little breakfast nook, but you've got the magnet fishing chairs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it would be a lovely afternoon. Have a, coffee and magnet fish.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Just delightful.
Sounds like someone was sitting a little too close to the river. So
that's a good point. Those poor people.
Yeah. What happened to them?
Yeah.
What's their story?
Do you think they went after it? Do you think they are also in the lake? Maybe they were like holding on and then it didn't work out.
Yeah. Or they forgot the chair there and then the tide comes up or whatever,
That's the logical.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, probably. Either that or like maybe it was a really windy day and it just.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's less fun than them being on a boat. For some reason, having a chair with
a
them
steel
in the
chair.
boat.
No,
a steel chair. Yeah, in the boat, just like hanging or like canoeing down the river with a boat or a chair in the canoe, and then it just tips overboard.
I've seen it done.
See?
It's not see.
Fish hooks. I get it. Okay,
I'm not crazy, Alan.
Yeah, gotcha. They wanted the comfort along with the fishing experience. Yeah.
Why not?
Could have been ice fishing, maybe even. Who knows?
Well, that's even stranger than Alan.
Yeah.
How did it fall?
Right?
Fell through the ice, or they just left. I don't know.
Then the person really is in the ice, and now it's sad. Now everyone listening is sad.
Took a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're storytellers, so we make things up. So
that's true. We just came up with a series right there.
Yeah.
That's really interesting though. So you found two. I just love that you found two of them. Like not just one, because one I feel like is already cool enough, but then you're just like, oh, dope. Here's a second one. Let's have a party.
Well, my dad made it for me. He welded two giant magnets together.
Huh.
So technically I've got 3 magnets. And it's stronger. It's stronger than one. 2 is better than one.
I love it. Yes. Love that. How long have you been doing that for?
I've probably been like doing it since last summer.
Okay.
Right. You bring a little bucket down with you because you can't do it you could do it in the winter, I guess. Yeah. I won't. Bring a little bucket down, get your gloves, and just have an afternoon.
Yeah.
I love that.
Get some precious metals. Who knows?
You know, I am waiting for the day that I pull up some ancient relic.
That's how that happens. They make movies off of that stuff.
Yes.
True.
Yes. That is entirely possible.
All right, Haley. Well, let's
dive in.
Dive in. Yes, thank you, Rahana.
Dive in.
What drew you to talent agency work? I guess that's our first question here. Since you're a talent agent, is that correct?
I am a talent agent with More Creative Talent. I started back in July of 2018. I had been in the industry. I'd been involved in film work, filmmaking. I went to school for radio and television broadcast. So it was always just kind of something that was going to be part of my life. Mm-hmm. And so I moved to the cities in 2018, and More Creative had an opening for an associate agent. And I said, well, okay, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I like actors, and I like directors, and I like film. I think I was a little more starry-eyed about, thinking that like movies were being made at the time.
Yeah.
And I fell right into it, and everybody at More is fabulous. We are small female family owned. Andrea has been in the business since, well, I'm not going to tell you since when. I think she might be angry if I did. But back when More was Eleanor Moore Agency, and now it's owned by Alicia Cardwell, who's fabulous. And I got to work with and be trained in by the very prestigious Carol McCormick. She was with More Creative for over 40 years. So there's a very long history of good, successful agentry, if that's a word.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your, I'm going off script here. What's your favorite thing about being a talent agent? Like what keeps you there and interested and engaged every day?
I think if you don't like people, this would be a terrible job for you. And so I think it's liking people. And I like working towards something bigger than us, right? Storytelling, like you guys said, we're storytellers. And so it's just fun to get a script or to get a side and go, oh gosh, who would be perfect for this?
Right.
And you kind of cast many movies in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love that. So not including the amazing, wonderful actors and actresses that you are a talent agent for. But who's like your favorite actor, actress?
Oh, I feel like this is a good one.
Yeah. Here to ask the big questions.
The hard-hitting questions.
Yes.
I don't know that I could ever say that there is somebody who is my favorite actor or actress that I would hear is in a movie and go see it.
Yep.
But there are people that are so interesting to watch that always piques my interest, like Merritt Weaver. Mm-hmm. She is always kind of in that supporting character role. Mm-hmm. And man, you never know what's happening. Toni Collette is similar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Adam Scott.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is that the right person? Oh, see, now I'm blanking. Now I've been put on the spot.
From Severance and Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Those things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Melissa McCarthy. Fabulous. Yes. Right? Yeah. So there's just something that I like to see in an actor is the mystery. You don't know where they're going. They commit to something 100%. And I am buying it. I am subscribing.
Love that.
Yeah. What about you guys? Who is somebody that like would drive you to the theater?
Ooh. I think for me, it depends on if I am in love with them as human beings or if I am in love or like if they're like my hero. So like if they're like my hero, we're talking like Meryl Streep. I would say Natalie Portman, women like that. And so many more, but women, people that I just love. I mean, Anna Kendrick, and like she'll make me laugh and cry all at the same time. Chris Evans, seeing him. I don't know if anyone here has watched Defending Jacob on Apple TV Plus, but incredible. Feeling all the emotions. Yeah, probably people like that. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
Love
100.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. Alan, what about you?
My favorites have always been like Ed Norton, Rachel Weisz. So yeah. Those are some of my favorites at the top of my list. So I was really disappointed with the Bourne Legacy, whatever it was, with Renner, and Rachel Weisz and Ed Norton were both in that film, but their scene was like a phone conversation, and I was just like, no, you didn't put these two actors in this film and just give them a phone conversation. Come on.
Give them a phone call. Oh no.
That was tough. Yeah. Anyways. I saw their names next to each other on the like poster, and I was so excited, and then I watched the film and I'm so disappointed. It's just like, damn it. Such a, opportunity missed, but anyways. Yeah, those are my favorites. My two favorites. So we kind of covered this a little bit. Haley, what do you do for more creative talent, more or less, I suppose? But
sure. I can go in a little bit more depth. So I am the on-camera talent agent. More Creative is a full service agency. So we have voiceover run by the fabulous Kate Baker, print department, and then on camera. And so my main focus is anything on camera, which in this market is mainly commercials. This is a commercial market, right? So about 98% of the work that we do is for those standard, bite and smile type commercials, which I'm not poo-pooing. That is work. That is real work. And it's the bread and butter of the Minneapolis market. And I also get to work on television series when they come to town. We just had the privilege of working on something for the History Channel this last summer. I was there.
Nice.
We did, this was my favorite, This was it. This was it for me. This is where I was like, I was made for this. We did a serial killer limited series made by Committee Films. And I said, I'm putting my knowledge to work. So that was really fun to get to work on. And then film is part of our community. We've got a really like thriving indie community. So that's been fun to watch over the years. And then with tax incentives, albeit small, coming to Minneapolis or Minnesota, I should say, has really been bringing in some fun projects.
Yeah. Do you expect to see that increase and to see more coming to you for casting? Or
yeah, I see projects already coming to Minnesota, right? People want to tell their stories here. This is a fun backyard. It's an engaging landscape. We've got some great people, some incredibly talented folks. And I think that maybe once Minnesota catches on, that there's money to be made here. It's not just a creative endeavor, it's a business endeavor. More people will come, those incentives will increase, and will be, the next Albuquerque, Atlanta. So that's the hope, at least. I'm speaking it into existence.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is what we have to do. So what film or TV role did you first get a client into? If you remember.
I could not tell you. I could not tell you what it was for. I'm going to guess it was a commercial.
Like film, not commercial. Like, do you have one that was specifically in film that you remember or recall?
Could not recall. Okay. Could not tell you. But I do remember the phone call it's like the favorite part of the job, right? It's the one thing that we get to do, which is, hello, you're booked. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And I just got a fuck yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
That's
the
gotta
best
be satisfying.
Feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you get to do that on a daily basis, it feels really good.
Yeah, no kidding. Just like spreading joy.
Yes. The other side of it is you have to tell somebody they didn't book it. So I live for those moments of yes, fuck yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah, the other conversations are no fun.
Any tips for actors once getting like representation from an agency or whatever? So for anybody starting at square zero, is that the saying? Square one. Oh boy, delete that. Anybody starting at square one, I would say you got to build your resume, right? As the on-camera agent, I only look at talent who submit headshot and resume, right? That's our 101 material. So getting that in order is very important. Google is going to be your best friend if you don't know how to do this. Right. YouTube, there's tons and tons and tons of videos about how to do a self-tape. What a meeting with an agent is going to be like. So do your research, visit their websites. I do not recommend calling an agency and asking, how do I get represented by you? Right. We're humming, we're busy. And so then to get that kind of a basic call is like, well, did you Google our phone number? Visit the website, follow all of the instructions. Each agency is going to have different requirements to be considered. And a lot of times it's a test to see if you can follow direction.
That makes sense.
So a 1-page PDF, a solid headshot. Give your agent about 2 weeks to go through all of the submissions before hearing back. And sometimes you won't hear back. In fact, a lot of times that's kind of how the industry is. If you don't get it, you don't hear it.
Same with any job, really. It's like you apply for things and it's just like, okay, I didn't hear anything. So
exactly. I have to assume no then.
Right.
Yeah.
But especially in this industry, there's so many people applying for, like, there's thousands of people here, a handful of roles or like openings or any of that. So no one has the time to, unfortunately, reach out to 1,000 people to be like.
With More Creative, we do at least send a note that's like, thank you for submitting your materials. Resubmit in 6 months.
Oh.
So there's at least some sort of a note, some sort of recognition, which I think is really a nice touch. And like you said, you don't get everywhere because the volume that submissions and information is coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be a lot. I can only imagine. So what roles do you find most common in the casting calls that you do? So you mentioned commercials, but is there anything specific? Like, I feel like here, at least I see a lot of commercials for like Target and Best Buy. I see everyone I know. Yeah. I'm just like, hey, I know this person. I know, like, my boyfriend hates it because we'll go walk anywhere and he'll just be like, no, I get it. You know everyone. I'm like, no, I know all the people from these like handful of commercials, always and forever. But like, do you see common themes for your agency, or is it sort of pretty widespread?
So seeing Minnesota and Best Buy, absolutely. They are homegrown corporate offices, right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, we're a commercial market. So I see a lot for 8 to 10-year-olds, and it is that slice of life. That's kind of what is the trend, right? A while ago, it was like hilarious commercials. If there was no hook, you didn't see that. So it was funny people. Right now, we're seeing a lot of the quote unquote real people casting.
Okay.
Which just basically means they don't want this performery, sharp, technical type of actor, right? Sometimes we have to trick them and be like, no, they don't have a headshot. They're a civilian.
They walked by today and I said, be there at 4.
Exactly. And that's, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Alan?
It's like the old casting thing, like people hoping to get agents in the 50s or just hang out at a certain place hoping to be discovered, right?
Called in for the background work. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But my job really is to focus on my actors. So it's really fun to get to champion for the actor who can be the quote unquote real person, and get them work, especially after a pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Did you see a lot of like a huge decrease or decline in casting and
absolutely.
To submit for
absolutely. The industry shut down for I think a solid 3 months.
Wow.
Where there was nothing. And then how do you move forward? What does that look like? How do you do this safely and follow guidelines? And it felt like for probably about 8 months, each day was kind of a new thing of what's the new protocol and how do we do that? And so I think we've kind of gotten into a rhythm here 2 years later, finally figured a way that works.
Yeah.
But it changed the whole landscape. It changed the way we operate. It changed the way we hold castings, changed the way we book jobs.
Even today, do you see more of a fluctuation in like a higher percentage of people submitting like via tape or maybe even virtually like this versus coming in?
Yes. Yep. And basically it's going to be a 50-50 split. I feel like, where we're already seeing it happen out in LA. They're never going to have an in-person thing again. It's going to stay virtual, which is terrifying for some people, specifically of a demographic that, hasn't grown up on technology.
Yeah.
I love a self-tape. Selfishly, it's because I meet an actor for 30 minutes. We have a chat, we get to know one another, and then I send them out into the world. So when I get tapes in, I get to see the work that they're doing. And it has actually allowed me to give feedback and make more of a connection with certain actors. So Minneapolis certainly is also experiencing that split of things being done solely virtually and self-tapes and being done in person with precautions.
Interesting. That makes sense. And I'm sure that opens the door for so many people who maybe aren't just right here in the Twin Cities or something, and they might be a little further out, or maybe they don't have the flexibility to take off in the middle of the day for a casting,
an audition.
Yeah. And
it certainly has. It's made some things easier, right? It's a tool of the trade. So you do have to learn how to do it in order to be super successful. But when it is a blizzard outside and there's supposed to be a casting at 2, you can stay at home. You got to be at work and then go to your kids thing and then go to the next thing and the next thing. You can do it at midnight.
Yep.
So it has opened up the door. I've been able to book talent on gigs that are not in Minnesota and to be able to book talent who are not here for gigs in Minnesota. So it's a whole new world.
Yeah. That's interesting, because then like you have access to more talent, but then there's also probably a lot of competition for placement, depending on if you're exclusive or whatever, but based on whatever you get in, I suppose. Other than you kind of already mentioned this, but what's your favorite thing about the casting process for your clients and why? But what I mean is not just the end result, but like the process to get there. Like, what's your favorite part about that, I suppose?
My favorite part is getting to take that beat, right? You're moving. You can't stop the train. So to get in a casting and to get to take that beat and to go, I'm living in this world and who's a part of it? And you get to think outside the box, right? You get the specs, you get the breakdown, and then you get to go, how about we pepper in this taste and just see how it goes. And especially now with self-tapes, when it's not a free for all, right? It's never this giant cattle call. I still have to be really curated about how many quote unquote spots I take up or how many auditions I send in. But I get to maybe not be so worried about, if we're going to go an extra 30 minutes over, because I get to just plunk in a tape. And it's been successful. It's been good. It's nice to surprise people. People like to be a little surprised.
Yeah,
absolutely. That does make it more fun too. So you mentioned the changes that have happened since the pandemic and how it's really sort of revolutionized everything and the way it goes. So what is agency life like today for you?
It is much more flexible than it was prior to the pandemic. Before 2020, we were really glued to that office phone. And if you weren't at the desk, it could be troublesome. I think we really learned, we adapted to live in this virtual space. And so we are able to work from home should there be a blizzard outside and we don't want to drive into work.
Yes.
But it is different, right? People used to be in the office, especially our exclusives would come in and do their voiceover auditions in the booth at More. And so it's a little quieter on that front. We certainly miss our people. And I don't know that we'll necessarily ever be there again. Our doors are pretty much closed, right? You do need to make an appointment to come in just to make sure everybody is where they need to be and all of that.
Yeah.
So that's like the one kind of about it. But otherwise, it's allowed much more flexibility and freedom.
You mentioned the booths for voiceover work. Is that something where those voiceover actors are still able to, like you mentioned, make an appointment and come in and utilize the booth? Or is that portion pretty much closed and they have to use like other facilities throughout the cities?
Right now, what's really happening in the voiceover world, and this isn't like my area of expertise, so I can just tell you that at home auditions, just like we do for self tape, voiceover is doing it at home as well.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Nice.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, of all the roles you've helped find the right talent for, like, have you had some that are your favorites or favorite types? Anything that kind of stood out to you as an agent then, since you've been doing this?
Yes, I love a character actor. I just can't help it. I think they are so engaging, and to watch actors morph into these characters that you knew that they could do is so fun. I don't know how much I can say.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But those are certainly my favorite. And then of course the serial killers. I can talk about that.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, booking those people, which is weird, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to look at your talent and be like, you look like John Wayne Gacy.
People would definitely believe you are a crazy person.
Yes.
Perfect.
Typecast yet again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fun. So that's been fun.
No kidding. So how does the process differ from your end when it comes to casting commercials, which are most frequent, to any TV shows that come into town, or if there is a film audition? Like, does the process differ at all, or is it pretty much the same from your perspective?
It's pretty similar, where the casting director says, hey, here's the breakdown. And then we go, great, here's who you need to see. Minneapolis is the weird market, and really the only market that allows multi-listing the way that we do, where you can have multiple agents for the same type of representation.
Okay.
So it adds another layer in, where now our casting directors have to go, okay, I'm going to see this talent here and then this talent there, and maybe next time it'll be different. A lot of times in film, the casting directors are not doing that. Right. They're going, who is the person? So I kind of get on the phone and go, who you should book for this. Who's right for this. And so that's something that kind of piques my interest more about film.
Yeah. Being able to dig in and
right.
throw it down.
Also, is there something that hasn't been casted before here, or you haven't seen maybe that you would like to see more of, or?
Well, in my time, I can say it probably was before 2000. I think we need a kids show here. Yeah. I think we've got a lot of improvers, a lot of funny people. We've got this great community of parents who, support their kids in following these dreams. And I think a kids show could be really fun.
No kidding. Not to mention, I mean, you hear all about like adults that were child actors in LA and stuff, and how insane that is. But in this market, I feel like this is like a safe place to do that. Like the kids aren't going to get wild and crazy, and it's still Minnesota. It'd be fun.
It could be great. And then let's get a horror series going on here.
I feel like that's perfect for Minnesota. Minnesotans love their horror, thriller, zombie.
We love our dark basement movies.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that. So, Haley, are things looking more promising, do you think, for like projects coming here up in like later this year? Just looking forward into the future a little bit?
Absolutely. There is a fabulous group of filmmakers and producers working up in the Chisholm, Duluth area. And they are working hard and creatively to bring projects here to take advantage of these incentives. And they're really focused on casting locally and finding talent that are Minnesota talent, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, again, I don't know really how much I can say.
Right.
But
getting the inside scoop here. Haley, what do you got?
We have no listeners, so you can just say everything.
Yeah, we have 5.
Perfect.
5 subscribers. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're 2 of them. So
yeah. Our parents are the others. So
yeah.
Hey, it's good to have support,
Right.
Yeah, there will be films coming through Minnesota for sure in the next year. Absolutely. So be on the lookout, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's always really exciting. Especially when, I don't know, there's people that you're aware of, whether it's local people who I know, there are certainly people who, if I saw that they were in a film, I'd just be like more drawn to it just because, or even like when Woody Harrelson's here, who is not drawn to that, So it's kind of fun once the information starts sort of leaking out there a little bit to figure out.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move, right? Minnesota is known for supporting things. And if there's a personal connection, like you said, there's an actor that that you love, that you've met, you would absolutely support it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exciting to think that, there are new horizons opening up for Minnesota with the incentive, of course, but also just, active people up north that want to see more come about. So, and
I think we don't want to forget that before the incentives, there were people here doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making it happen. And I think we've got to thank them. This community, this indie film community, has to, be aware that it wasn't just great. Here's some incentives, and now Hollywood's coming.
Right.
This is homegrown.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how they came about. So yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. The community's been here and really created Minnesota to be what it is for this industry. It's not an easy thing. So the fact that we didn't have all that support from, outside of the state for a while, and still kept doing it. I think that just shows like the passion that the people here have for it. And I mean, who doesn't want to work with people who are that passionate?
Yeah.
Well, you said it. You said it.
Well, Haley, where can people follow you or get in touch with you?
Sure. So for More Creative, Instagram is really where we're the most active. So at More Creative Talent. Oh, I should have checked. I should have double checked. Yeah, I would say at More Creative Talent. Personally, my Instagram is at the Haley Jacobsen because there are many of them. Yes.
I bet.
And it's yes. And it's Haley, Haley, and Jacobsen, Sen.
Yes.
You're about to get a follow from me. That's for sure.
All right.
Super fun. It really has. This has been awesome getting to know you, Haley. I just appreciate you taking the time out of your day and evening and everything. But before we let you go, I've got one final doozy of a question, because that's what I'm here for. What do you want people to really remember most about you? Whether it's from working with you or just getting to know you on a personal level, anything.
This is a doozy of a question. Mm-hmm. It rivals who's your favorite actor. I would say what I want people to remember most about working with me is I am tough but fair, right? I have standards and expectations, but they're all for everybody's benefit. And I want the best out of you, and I know that I can get it. And so I hope that people walk away going, oh, she didn't let me get away with anything, but man, I'm glad she didn't,
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you guys answered this question yet?
Absolutely not. No.
End of podcast. No.
Yeah. And black.
No.
Yeah. No. No. I just want people to remember that I was here and be like, oh yeah, no, I think she was okay. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. People who
No, I like the bar. Keep it low.
low. Yeah. What is it? High aspirations, low expectations. So
well, I think you're better than okay. So how about that?
See, I'm already doing good. I'm doing well so far. This is great. Yeah, I have not actually thought about that question for myself, so I have no idea. Alan, what about you?
Yeah, no comment.
I didn't know I could plead the fifth.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, this one's all about you, not about us. So,
they don't want to know about us. They have to listen to us blab enough as it is. This is all about you. Yeah. All about Haley. Ooh, that's what thanks. We titled this episode.
All about Haley.
All about Haley. Yeah.
I love it.
I do want to say thank you very much. Truly, this has been an honor. I've been very excited to talk to you guys. And I think that you've been doing some really good work and supporting our community and our makers. And I think we could stand to have some more of it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank
we love
you.
doing it. And thank you so much for taking the time and chatting with us. This has been awesome getting to know you. We will definitely have to have you back on again soon.
Please.
Yeah. And until next time, to our listeners, thank you for joining us. This is Film in Minnesota.